Hold on. All right.
Well, welcome, Walker.
Hey.
Thank you for coming to American Songwriter.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Is this headquarters?
This is headquarters. This is
The-
where it
the
all happens.
nucleus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, right here.
Love it.
We're glad to have you. I want
Yeah.
to talk about your new album, 17
Yeah.
Problems. Really enjoyed listening to it. I've been sitting
Oh,
with it
thanks.
for a few days. Listening to your album,
Yeah.
very personal, very
Yeah.
deep. You talk about a lot of topics.
Yeah.
I kind of learned about you. You have a big faith in Jesus.
Yeah.
You love your wife still madly.
Yeah.
You're scared to death to screw up your kids.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that.
You're
yeah.
mourning the loss of your dad.
Yeah.
Several things that we learn about you in
Yeah.
in this. While writing this album, did you learn anything about yourself that you didn't know before putting this out?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
And you do, yeah. I think for me, writing is a way to organize, my thoughts, and I think at this phase of my life, I've probably grown out of the. I think there's a lot of, in retrospect, like talk about my mother or father, and I can feel my blame kind of shifting from pointing at my childhood and saying, "You're why I'm this," and more of a shift to like, we're kind of all like that, you know what I mean? And I'm noticed, like what you're kind of brilliant what you just said. I'm kind of looking at my kids going, wait, I'm doing my best, but they're messed up, and they're all messed up because of me. Their childhood was not perfect. My kids are 10 to 19, and so I'm looking at it now going, dang man, I could have done better in this area and that area, and there's going to be a lot of things that there's a line not in one of my songs, but a song I wrote with a group called Unspoken that says, I know one day you'll probably be on a therapist's couch talking about me. And I see that, and then it kind of makes me look back and forgive or have mercy or more understanding to the authority figures of my childhood. So I definitely learned that, like, maybe I'm growing up, which is cool, but as far as honest, I mean, I've always been blessed to have a team that's really all they want from me. That they do not. My team never calls up and says, "Hey, could you just write a real easygoing radio hit?" They appreciate little nuggets from my life. So that's healthy for me to write.
And
about.
I think also just you admitting that and saying that is going to be so helpful to your. Do you talk about that to your kids? With your kids?
Always.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think that alone, you
Yeah.
admitting that's something. I'm sure they're fine,
Yeah.
but you admitting that I think is going to be a big part of their process.
I appreciate. I mean,
think so.
we're an over-communicative
That's
family,
great.
and I didn't. I think there's a line in. There's a line in a song called 100 Pencils that says, I didn't come from a family that showed how we felt, And I think that's a generational thing.
That's a lot. Yes.
I think we're probably, you and I were probably overcorrection of like the quiet, stoic generation.
Yes.
We're a little bit like, you want to talk about our feelings? And maybe we do it too much.
Too much, I think,
where you're
yes,
like, hey,
yes,
shut up
yes.
about the feelings, okay? Because
Enough with your feelings.
I'm learning too that my feelings are not the most trustable compass. They're not always like right. At night, I don't know about you, but when I go to bed at night, it's doomsday. Like every night is the world's ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how are we gonna? And then I wake up and I'm like, let's go, let's create. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing I didn't jump off that bridge last night because everything's actually okay. You know what I mean?
Yes, unfortunately, I do know exactly what you mean.
I talked to my son Baylor. He and I were talking about it. We were like, I don't know what it is, but nights, everything just feels exponentially heavier at night. And but yeah, my kids, they're so forgiving and they're such fun, just companions in life. They have a lot of mercy on me. They've seen alcoholic dad. They've seen atheist dad. They've seen workaholic dad. You know, they've had a front row seat to some real life stuff. You know, they watched their parents lose a kid, essentially. They watched me chase this elusive whatever it is, you know, that I do, and they're interesting for it, what they have seen.
So you titled the album 17 Problems
Yeah.
after the song. Talk about that song a little. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
It goes back to you wanting to go, all the problems you have now, you wanting to go back to
Yeah.
the problems you had as a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I do, you know, and I appreciate you asking about that song. The insecure Walker in me wants to let you know that I wrote that alone, so you could be like, way to go, Walker. But that's just because I love songwriters, and I've always admired the ones that can do it by themselves, you know. And so, but I'm super proud of that song. But it just was kind of a gift, you know. It just, I don't really know where we were album-wise, how many I had finished or anything, but I wrote that song on a Friday afternoon and was thinking about everything that you and I are talking about. I just was thinking about my mom's, you know, by herself. My sister is masterful at caretaking. My sister carries that burden. And my mom's not a burden. I'm just saying my sister is her go-to, you know. And she's near my mom, and I'm far away. And I feel, I don't just feel, I'm not as good at it as my sister is. My mom's really, really blessed that Wayla lives down the street and not me, because Wayla is wonderful at taking care of my mom. And so, you know, every line in that song, like, I'm supposed to know how to take care of my brother. It's been 10 years since I've talked to my big brother. I'm ashamed to say I'm the last of 9 kids, and there is a brother. His name is Brian, and I don't even know where he lives now. We don't talk, you know.
Don't keep in touch, no.
Yeah, and so I just, honestly, I probably wrote this song thinking no one's ever gonna hear it, so I can disclose the truth.
Yep.
You know, I can really be honest here, and wouldn't you know it, you know, now everybody's gonna hear it. And I'm sure mom's gonna call me and go, why don't you take care of, you know, whatever. But it's the truth. I mean, that's just where I am in life. That's where I was that Friday afternoon. I just really, oddly enough, most of my songs, they start with a hook or a chorus. Whereas this one just started with, how in the world were we going to memorize our fake IDs? And I laughed thinking, I remember being scared, sitting outside the Floribama, studying on the beach, you know. I was like, what's my name? And, you know, what's my weight?
What year was I born?
Like the bartender was going to go, how much do you weigh? But you knew. You just were like, well, what if he does?
You'd
you
be
know,
the one.
How tall you were, what's your address?
Yep.
And, yeah, I just remember being like, oh, it's so much. Like, I'm gonna get it wrong and get kicked out of this bar, you know. And I was like, dude, what a great problem that was to have. And I don't want to go back. I don't want anybody to hear that song and think that those are the greatest years of your life. There's a sweetness and a simplicity you'll never have again. Now, it gets more beautiful. But with that beauty, it comes complicated. You earn it, if that makes any sense.
It does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to imply that you wanted to go back. Because I didn't think that while listening to it. You just missed that.
You remember it.
The easier problems that you had when they were big life problems back then.
Well, and I have 17, you know, I have kids that age. And that was how old I was when I met Lainey. So that will always be, I know. I know. I look at my kids and I'm like, you could meet.
You imagine? Yes.
I could meet my son-in-law today.
Yeah.
No. I'm like, don't do it.
Not today. No.
Yeah, I just, you know, with you know how it is when you're that age and you're in love and you're listening to music. It's just, that's a special time.
Yeah. If you went back to 17, is there something you would change or do differently? Do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would probably, I mean, given what I know now, I mean, I really love, I mean, I don't want to change the destination. Like, I love where
you
I
are.
am. Yeah.
Yep.
with everything, even the worst stuff that's ever happened to me. But
and that's obvious on the album.
yeah,
That you love where you
oh
are.
man, I love anything that's broken me or hurt me or wounded me or brought me to my knees. I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah.
Almost more than the good stuff, to tell you the truth, because it's probably molded me into a better human, just for those around me. But yeah, I would probably marry Lainey sooner. I would meet her sooner. Probably just
Sooner
be a
than-
little bolder about, hey, you want to go on a date?
Sooner than 17?
Well, I mean, we started dating when we were 17,
Okay.
but I waited till, after college to marry her.
Gotcha.
I probably would say, hey, Lane, we need to skip college and just go to Nashville, because I would have loved to fall in love with songwriting sooner. I didn't write a song till we were married, so I was late with that.
Wow.
Yeah, as many kids as we had, I wish we had more. I mean, that's not in like a dang it. I don't spend my time being bitter and dwelling on it, but I love kids.
You could have handled some more.
Yeah, I mourned not being able to have any more. That was a bummer, because that phase.
Yep.
That's a good adrenaline rush, when you're like, bam, kid on the way, but yeah, that's about it. I think honestly, I think a lot of my regrets are probably on the album. I tell a lot of people my life is great. I love my occupation. I literally have the exact job I would ever want, but I missed working with my father. I sacrificed that for this, and honestly, I don't know which is better, because I didn't get to live that life, So I think it would have been good. I think I would have enjoyed spending that time with my dad, and maybe wringing that out. But yeah, so I mean, I've got regrets for days, but can't go back. Yeah.
Did I read it correctly that you wrote a song Wednesday with Hoda Kotb?
I did.
The Hoda Kotb?
The Hoda.
From the Today Show?
Yeah, she started it. I mean, we were.
Is she a songwriter?
She should be.
Okay.
We were doing a podcast.
Okay.
Honestly, you're a lot like I should be taking notes, because the next album just happened.
Yeah.
But well, I'm just talking to Hoda, and I was telling her a lot about my life, and honestly talking about the dimming of just the world and the content and peace I find in the mundane as I get older.
Yes.
And she was saying, she literally out of her mouth, she said, so basically what you're saying is some days are the best days, and some days are, she said, yes days, and then she said, but most days are just Wednesdays. And she even
said that?
She said, some days are it's a girl days. And I was like, Hoda, hold up. I was like, that is a universal concept that everyone needs to hear. And that's another thing I'm trying to teach my kids. I feel like our culture is taught to, find the most comfortable life we can possible, and to try to make tomorrow just the big day, the one, just looking for with the big break.
Better, yes.
And I feel like, sadly, we're missing the miracles of, again, a relationship at the gym, a kiss goodbye from your wife, a note on the counter, just the mundane stuff, a picture on the fridge, like that song says. The mundane is kind of miraculous, and we take it for granted by just hoping, maybe tomorrow is the $1 million day, and that's sad. And so, I think it's a beautiful song, just saying to someone you love, like, dude, I'm good. Like, if I get another day with you, what else? What's better than that?
Yeah. What was she like in the writer's room?
She's amazing. Yeah. And she really contributed. We had that verse. We had the first half of the verse, and we had the chorus when we went in, and then Lori McKenna.
Oh God,
I mean,
she's
honestly,
fabulous.
Yeah. I just remember it. There's a line in that, where he says, feed the dogs and take out the trash. Nothing wrong with that, and I just remember those lines between it just spilling out. And we were just, Hoda has her beautiful children and just reading a book to them. It's great, the need to call mom back, it's good. It's good to have that,
Yes.
But yeah, Hoda was awesome. And there were tears. Like we had, it was one of those days where that idea, it was precious to all of us because we're all busy people. Lori and I are songwriters, so we're probably always fighting that, like, this is my next hit, thing. And then Hoda, she is such a speaker of joy and peace, but she's also very influential,
Yep.
and so I'm sure she shares that like, hey, no, just chill with the kids, just walk the kids to school, enjoy,
Yes.
chill out, Hoda, and so there was a lot of rest in writing that message and just absorbing it together.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Wednesday, special song.
Was there a lyric besides the "I hate church"?
Yeah.
Was there a lyric, or because you get very personal on this,
Yeah.
talk about your life, open up about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Anything you hesitated to put out there, and were like, maybe I shouldn't talk about this?
When you said that, the first thing I thought of was pocket knife.
Okay.
And I mean, my mom and I, we just been through. I had a tough go with her growing up, and it just, she's sensitive, and so am I, and I would never want to say anything. I hope she hears that song and hears not just like, Mom, I forgive you, but I hope she hears, will you forgive me too, if that makes any sense.
It does.
And I don't know if I wrote it. I don't know if I wrote it on that downslope of like not blaming anymore, if that makes any sense. Like in the lyric, it says, Mama, I still keep my mobile life in my pocket like a pocket knife. Take it out every once in a smile. Whittle on a memory for a little while. Thank God the shit that went wrong taught me how to write a country song. Ain't it funny how childhood trauma cuts you deep and sharpens you, don't it, Mama? And my mom had her own. I'm again, part of growing up is looking at adults going, dang, dude, they had their own. They're just kids too, the same thing. And so that was almost like one that I wrote. And when we left that day, I was kind of like, is this okay? Like, is it okay if Mom, hears this song? Is this gonna make her be like, why'd you say that? But I think it'll help people because I think that's kind of the reality of a lot of families.
Oh yeah, it's very relatable.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, to me, my favorite thing is to be known and loved, not just loved by people who don't know me.
Right.
It's to be known, and if there's one person on this world that on this earth that knows me through and through, it's my mom.
It's your mother.
I mean, she knows how vicious I can be, and she's still there for me, and vice versa. So.
And that's kind of how I took that song as a it's okay. Everything we went through, it's kind of a nostalgic song, but also everything we went through, it's okay.
Yeah.
It worked out. And
we're good.
Now I write country songs because of
it. Yeah. But that's like really the only, that's kind of the only one where I was like, I don't know,
Has she heard it?
No,
not yet.
No, she hadn't heard it.
Are you gonna let her hear it before it comes out, or you think you're gonna wait till?
I think I might just put it out and see if
she even hears it.
Yeah, I wrote a book with a friend of mine called Glad You're Here, and I don't know. My mom can be an avoider. I don't know if she read it or not. Like, I assume she has, but I would have imagined we would have talked about some stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to honor, her, but I also want to not, hold things back because I just don't think anything good comes from lying by omission, if that makes any sense.
Yes. And I think that's our parents' generation. They just they
Totally.
didn't talk about anything.
Yeah.
It was you hid everything away.
Right.
You didn't want other people to see the bad
Yeah.
stuff.
There's another line that I can't wait to explore what happens. There's a line about my father-in-law in 17, that says, "I thought your dad was going to kick my ass
Yes.
when we missed your curfew by a song and a half." That was a G-rated version of how terrible I was as the boyfriend of his daughter. And so I now our relationship has been completely redeemed. It has gone, all over the map. So that's another one where I'm like, ooh, I wonder
You don't want to bring that up again.
I'm like, I wonder what he'll think of this.
We'll leave it on that.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Walker, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for talking to me.
Absolutely. It was a great chat.